Text is weird. Strange new world. We're fortunate this place can support life, albeit barely, I suspect, given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that. We must find Thancred. Let's begin our search from the prow of the ship. Seems as good a direction as any. Try not to stray too far, lest we lose sight of one another. Okay. These remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. Yeah, there's fucking dragons. I mean, dragons are aliens, right? So maybe that makes sense? I see no one else in this barren waste, do you? Then why do I feel like we're not alone? Like there's another presence with us, something dark and mournful. Ruins, but of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. Look here, this part is relatively intact. The intricate design of the top suggests it's man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive of them. Having said that, I swear I've seen this pattern before. The metallic pillar has been partially melted, likely sometime in the distant past. Damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. Poor decision in hindsight. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I'd never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you call it that, surrounded by floating debris. Yeah, it's pretty dimly lit. Were you able to find anything? No. As I feared, and still no trace of Thancred. There's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which unfortunately isn't very far. Though I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close, and then a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. Leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. Uh-oh. Maybe it's Meteion just hanging out. I felt it too when I was near that thing. That dragon. Wait, can they not see the dragons? What are you talking about? There's nothing there, so they can't see any of those dragons. Why? Are they like on another plane of existence? Before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Agreed. We found only more questions when we were in desperate need of answers. Wait, back to the dragons. I can't describe them to you or something? There's a fair stretch of terrain from the ship's starboard we've yet to explore. Yes, let's try searching there then. This is creepy. Got us a word before we join the others. Wait, you've got Nidhogg blood, so can you sense them? Wow, what is that? That is very colorful. You see them too, don't you? The dragons. As I thought. Their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgard Sormer and mine with Nidhogg is what allows us to perceive them. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live in Aetheris? Bah. Better to leave such conjecture to others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder? Did they have their own dragon war? That's that mist dragon from the burn, right?
Dragons? Here?
Oh, so they can see those ones.
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred. Where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not?
What? Is he a fucking ghost?
Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words.
What the fuck did this little bitch do to him?
Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist. In like manner to the oblivion I send. I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred,
Fuck.
who came at me despite being unable to breathe.
He doesn't have the ability to manipulate ether anymore. Oh my He's fucked. He's just pure dynamis then.
Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed.
No. No. No, there's no fucking way.
Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind.
Okay. Oh, God.
What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive.
Oh, shit. No.
That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade into a place you can perceive and where life can endure.
So from his one wish, it did all this?
That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Oh, fuck you. We have to save him.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business.
Oh. That's what I would have done.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you. Emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature.
I mean, everyone's pretty pissed. That doesn't give them power?
You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I don't know. How the fuck are we supposed to manipulate Dynamis?
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Don't say he gave his life, please, trαnge. There has to be a way to save him. It'd be so fucking depressing if, after all this, he just dies.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
Okay, this gotta be a fake out, right? Please. Come on. Please, trαnge, just keep it together. We'll find your boyfriend. Soul without body, a form of being with which we are not wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the first. True, and you were still saved. So, hopefully we can do it again. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, 'tis true, but I choose to believe he's not forever lost to us. Good. Regardless, in sacrifice he hath afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it, and ascertain the nature of this realm that we might confront and defeat Meteion. Estinian, Gaddis, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. Sure. I would ask the rest of you to survey these surrounds. If there's a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Very well. We can reconvene here when everyone is finished. Meteion said that these dragons are shadow and shade, from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they're not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation, so please be careful. Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. Wait, can you talk to dragons? Okay. I guess I'll go over here then. A visitor, not of this star. Could thy slender hands bring plague to our world, thy breath extinguish life's feeble flame? Oh, how we would adore thee, alas. With time, our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march unto oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. These fucking suicidal dragons, what the hell? Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost, so glorious, so beautiful. We are a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver, no bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat. Never had we known such shame. Stilled now are the winds, though none could fill these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. I wonder if these were the same, like similar to Midgardstormer. He fought Omega. Were these machines similar to Omega? Is there like a fucking robot versus dragon war that we just missed? Thou wouldst bid me speak? Humph, folly. I observe the lesson of stone. I shall not fly, not speak, nor roar, only watch and wait and end. But one sight yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. Am Nol, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of the weight to describe such tragedy. Go, If that be thy will, I shall remain. They led you here as well, did they? It was described to me as the source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground, or was. I've seen similar in Aetheris. Midgardstormer's kind must have once lived and thrived in a place such as this. Beatrice said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here. I mean, they got shattered. I don't know what else you could really say. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggested it failed to emerge. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. Ew. Your stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. A murky liquid is pooled inside this eggshell. The noxious feeder is indicative of contamination. Oh. This egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonette within succeeded in hatching. What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonette was indeed hatched, there's no sign of it here, or its sire for that matter. Is this the egg that fucking Midgardstormer came out of? We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops, and I'll search the plains. Oh, it's a more recent dragon. Oh, there's a fight. The boisterous howling hath been quieted, by thy hand, I presume. Everything all right? I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. Ah, I see what's happened here. Was that your child? Perhaps. Some eggs within Amnol are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou hast slain may be of that my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. So this was the Omega versus like Midgardstormer Dragon Wars. With fire and fury, rage and rancor, we gave an answer. 'Twas a long and bloody battle, but with only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild, a futile effort. In purest soil replete with ether did we once cultivate our nesting grounds, but lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. Oh, the dead dragon baby. What few survive to hatch emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won, they too were reduced to ash and waste. 'Tis the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Wait, you claim your kind is doomed, but there is another star. He's like, dude, I got dragon blood in me. There's another way out. Test of will. They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. Sound familiar? Well, I mean, to what you used to be, maybe? The sole reward for senseless bloodshed, a pain I understand and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we have learned. Come. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Goddess, Estinian. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating around. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? I considered that, and so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity, but it never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that what we see outside this space is as it appears. Which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked the Loporits to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments fail to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it's too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteion told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key, but I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. We're going to learn how to manifest Dynamis? So what you're saying is we've no way forward. At present, aye. If it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Meteion's but the dragons that holds us here. They tire of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they've chosen no path at all, meaning there's no way for the dragons or anyone here on the island to advance. So you have to cheer up all the dragons? A sound theory, disheartening though it might be. If that is the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Well, Estinian has Nidhogg blood in him. If they could maybe find or sense that, it might prove that all is not lost. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Meteion meant to unmake us, then and there on the Ragnarok. And she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions. 'Twas Ultima Thule's architect, Meteion herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them, as such I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most, potent enough mayhap to dictate the course of others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me not against his calcifying heart, but mayhap one of you will fare better? Time to bring Istidian in. And I shall guide thee. I'll-end, they called him, in the dragon tongue. Thou wilt find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water. Well, what do we have to lose? Let's get going. You got your work cut out for you, Stinian. Never would I have imagined that we would be in this game on a planet in space talking to shadow dragons with a dragoon that initially tried to kill us a very long time ago with Nidhogg blood. And, like, it's just the combination of all these things is kind of insane.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
Ooh. Oh. He knows what to do.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
He knows how to piss them off and get them focused. Aye, our pride is crushed, and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled, and the heavens offer no comfort. There's nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still as stone we shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our kin on another star? Show the proof. And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home? Maybe let's not focus on that part.
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It mattereth not whither we fly. Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. And so, on the last of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict, exile myself from the other, never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No. You must be willing to confront it. To stare into the face of your foe and see yourself in him.
Yes, channel that fucking heaven's word.
Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity.
Give him that hard truth.
And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Oh shit. What? Was it actually Meteion?
Estinian!
Stay back!
We tire of war. We tire of turmoil. Dignity tarnished. Crimson stained. Our misery. Our shame. Too much to bear. Release us from war. From life.
I see. This is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
Wait, what? What?
No! Not Estinian too!
What did he do? What is that? Oh, it cleaned up stuff a little
There's
bit.
a wind. He's opened the way for us.
Oh. But what happened to him?
Sacrificed himself to remake this place. Like Thancred did.
Don't tell me he's actually gone. Oh.
Oh, Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
He can't be gone. It has to be a fake out. I'm in so much fucking denial right now. I can't take this. Please let them be okay. Please let them be okay. Look there, the wind. This is Estinian's doing, I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. As by the beating of mighty wings doth wind blow, where dragons may ne'er again touch the sky, and he and the shade he bore shall soar free. Oh god, I can't read. The wind has stayed the fog that covered this island, and the air, it no longer feels quite as stifling. Oh my god, please don't tell me each one of these guys is gonna do a thing that changes this goddamn island. If I had known this place would claim Estinian too, No, it's what had to be done. A powerful gale has delivered you to another island. The other Scions should arrive before long. He did it. He found a way forward for us. Fucking music. The dragons remained trapped within a prison of their own making, lamenting the horrors of war. Yet Justinian knew them better than most. He was a man of honor and a dear friend, willing to fight to the very end for what he believed was right. And he's still fighting, Alphino, just like Thancred. Their sacrifices are why we survive here, why we still have a chance to stop her. Even in spirit, they're unwilling to give in to despair, and we mustn't either. Alizair's right. We must press on, for their sake. Oh, God. Roads paved. Sacrifice? As Y'shtol and Alizair said, we must continue. Notice the change in our surroundings? Perhaps this is the memory of an altogether different world. It would be prudent to learn more of it then. Tread carefully, lest we lose our footing in the sand. Were it not for the violet crystal embedded in its surface, 'twould appear as ordinary stone. A curious script hath been etched upon them. Alas, it is not a language with which I am familiar. I cannot say I recognize it either. Nor I. The dragons, from what I recall, preserve their knowledge in song and eschew the written word entirely, so we may assume this is the work of another race, one we have yet to encounter. Meteion claimed the dragon's world suffered a slow death, seeking the release of oblivion. What life we find here, like as not, doth wend its way towards a similar end. What do you suppose that is over there? I'm not sure, it's hard to make out at this distance, but its surface seems to bear the same crystals as this monument. Meaning there's a chance we may find whoever built them both. We should go and have a look. Come on. What the heck? Oh, hello. Hail, travelers. This is a most unexpected occurrence. Hello there. Is this your home? Indeed it is. Ah, forgive me. I had forgotten. An exchange of introductions is expected when first meeting those with whom one is unacquainted. Oh? What the hell? When the vibration of vocal folds was still required to convey our thoughts and intention, Ia, I believe, was the pronunciation used when referring to our people. Though it's not entirely applicable given our present state, you are welcome to use this appellation. As for nomenclature to address my individual person, I believe it would be pronounced Kaf Kuj. Yes, Kaf Kuj of the EA. We have encountered beings that communicate intermittently through thought, but never one that is wholly without voice. I presume we are having this conversation via the medium of ether, or dynamis, as his space is suffused with vast quantities of it. Fascinating in either case. I gather your response to my presence is positive, then? That is well, for there is something I wish to ask of you. Like yourselves, we EA are ether-based life forms. Therefore, it might be surmised that your bodies are of a comparable biological composition to those we once possessed. I have a number of queries regarding your subjective perception of the five senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In total, I've prepared 198,712,180,827. What? That's rather a lot, isn't it? Ah, my apologies. I have omitted a great many details necessary to understand the full nature of my request. Though we dispensed with our corporeal vessels long ago, we have rediscovered a need for the flesh, and have endeavored to recreate our erstwhile forms. However, all pertinent records have been lost due to the passage of time. Take, for example, the nervous system. It is well within our power to recreate, but we have no frame of reference for sensations once experienced by our people, which may compromise our ability to interact with our physical environment. And the reason you need to regain corporeal forms? Why, to bring an end to our existence, of course. Oh my god, all of these guys are going to be like this. They can't kill themselves when they're ghosts? Though need is perhaps too strong a word, it would be a simple matter to unmake ourselves through use of etheric exsanguinators, but such a death seems inadequate. The traditionalists among us believe proper death requires an inescapable sense of impermanence in one's final moments, an experience found only with bodies of flesh. This is very morbid. We should very much like to hear more of your plans. In exchange, we will answer any questions you have to the best of our ability. Such an exchange of information would indeed prove useful. Very well. To ensure efficacious exchange, I hereby invite you to our home. Yes, the abode of the EA, where we traditionalists prepare for our demise. I presume your consent to answer questions is indicative of a tacit approval of our plans, in which case your cooperation is greatly appreciated. I must caution you, however, to be mindful of the EA wandering the desert. Their desire for bodies of flesh could be described as overzealous. Now, if you would follow me. This is going rather smoothly, not that I'm complaining, mind. Even so, we mustn't forget their aim is oblivion, much like the dragons. Though I fail to see why a civilization so seemingly advanced would choose to unmake all they've created. Boredom? At any rate, we'll find no answers dallying here. Let us be on our way. Welcome to our abode. Most of our compeers, you will find, remain idle in their domiciles, though your quizzical expressions indicate my phrasing is unclear. I speak, of course, of the violet crystalline constructs hanging from the stone structures there. You say they remain idle, but what of your work to regain corporeal bodies? An astute question, and understandable given your finite nature. We have no desire to pursue our research, for it is no longer necessary. If, in our idleness, we are struck by sudden inspiration, we rise to pursue said inspiration to its conclusion. That is why I was present for your arrival, and why I continue to engage with you still. But while the others are not currently in a modal state, rest assured they would not object were you to disturb their respite. You need only cast your thoughts towards one of the crystalline domiciles to communicate. Okay. Unusual. They're really going out there with these concepts. It's interesting. So they just live in these crystals. Wait, I have to attune to each one? You cast your thoughts toward crystalline domicile, but there's no response. Oh, okay. Maybe he's asleep. You wish to speak? Very well. Pray a moment, if you would. What? Why we seek our end, you ask? If you wish to know, I will tell you. Just a moment. I must remember. What form did I take when I last emerged? Ag. The strange moaning comes and goes, but soon fades into silence. I think those are all mobs from fucking Chain of Promathia. I know I've seen them somewhere before. Did your inquiries yield satisfactory responses? Not really. I see. If they failed to answer, then it is likely because their minds have unraveled due to prolonged idleness. They are naught but concentrated ether now. Worry not, there are no others who have need of those lodgings, and they will not prove a hindrance to remain as they were. But more importantly, you said some few did answer your request for an audience, yes? I imagine they will be with us ere long. Oh shit! Yes! Level 90. And now what? I think now I have a bunch of moves I need to look up? I'll do that after this. Fresh AbanΔon. I had no luck, but everyone else fared well enough. Quite a few EA have awakened. Ah, there they are. May I introduce you to Lalak, Dukdik, and Ninig? Aye. It has been too long, Kafkuj. I dare say Sad 4 has since completed an orbit. Indeed. Until the travelers brought it to my attention, I hadn't noticed how unraveled some had become. Travelers? Ah, of course. The ones who wish to know why we seek to regain corporeal forms. The truth of the matter is as plain to see as the neighboring systems, but my single account would fail to satisfy the requirement for scientific objectivity. Thus I did bid them to waken you. Am I the only one who struggles to tell who is speaking? Nay, thou art not. In the absence of corporeal forms and the divergence they afford, mayhap such similarity in voice is unavoidable. By the way, Kufkuj, have you already observed the requisite custom for the travelers? That which one is expected to do when receiving guests, a matter of proper form. Ah, yes. So long has it been. It had completely escaped my mind, and still does. What was it again? I can't seem to remember. Oh. Neither do I. Pity. I was hoping you would. Perhaps we can search the archives for the answer. Come now, Neednig. The archives have long been frozen unless we subject ourselves to further dolor. Surely you can recall that much. Ah, of course. Food. The custom is to serve food. Beings of flesh such as they must regularly replenish their ether. By contributing to their replenishment, we communicate our friendly intention. That's right. We duly invite you to join us in communal repast, after which we may engage in leisurely conversations. Oh boy. If we have a chance to learn something, then I see no reason to decline. We don't have time for a fucking tea party here. Excellent. If you would care to follow, we shall feast you on the purest ether. Like a cup of it? Or how? This facility is where we replenish our ether. There's no particular name for it, but we traditionalists sometimes use the word restaurant. Okay. Now then, if you would take your place with your comrades, this space will soon be awash with the purest of ether. Please absorb as much as you like. Yummy? You brace yourself for a rush of sweet, sweet ether, but nothing seems to happen. Perhaps you need to wait a little longer. Maybe their machines don't work. You brace yourself again, but again, nothing seems to happen. This is just as I suspected. As meticulously as one might recreate the EA's home world, this is Ultima Thule. One cannot simply generate ether here. As recreations, our friends are oblivious to that fact, to the very truth of their existence, much like the phantoms of the recreated Amarot. However appearances may seem, we must be ever mindful that it is the memories of the dead with whom we deal. So, did you have your fill of ether? Alas, we couldn't absorb it. A deficiency in our forms, it would seem. Oh, how very unfortunate. May I ask how you normally replenish your ether? Eating food? Surprised. Through your mouths, you say? How very primitive and quaint. To think that their mouths serve not only to expel sound, but draw in sustenance besides. Such life forms have long since vanished from our systems. Though we regrettably could not partake of your magnificent feast, rest assured we feel your welcome most keenly. In the course of acquainting ourselves with your sophisticated ways, however, we could not fail but wonder, wherefore do you wish to obtain vessels of flesh, and thence to vanish? Will you not favor us with an explanation? You flesh and blood beings are always so hasty. It does have its charm, however. Very well, we shall indulge you. In the beginning, when the EI yet possessed corporeal bodies, our ancestors dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge and technological advancement. This could be Charlian people here. By transcending all limitations, we believed we would eliminate sorrow and abide in true happiness. From the tangible, such as land, to the intangible, such as labor, there exist myriad hindrances to progress, but the most confining of all was the flesh itself. Our hurried lifespan was distressingly middling, you see. Too short to enjoy unhurried lives, yet too long to be considered disposable. Furthermore, to simply maintain the integrity of our bodies demanded considerable resources. But we managed to solve this problem. After long years, we discovered how to become non-corporeal entities with everlasting lives, untroubled by the failures of the flesh. Thus changed, we had more time and freedom to continue our scientific pursuits. We went on to make even greater strides in our quest to transcend all limitations, until we finally decided to challenge the last of them all, the limit of knowledge. That is to say, deciphering the laws of creation. Well, you guys went pretty far. We sought to discover how the universe came into being and explain all extant phenomena, and thence predict the future. If we could achieve this, we believe that we could be free from uncertainty and anxiety. And did you find the answers you sought? Yes, we did. Our efforts revealed to us a fundamental truth. Knowledge of said truth is essential for the continuation of our conversation. If you would learn more, we will share it with you. Uh-oh. Y'shtola just had a chat with us at the last stand about wanting to learn more. Is she going to get sacrificed next? Is this like a... If you guys ever watch like Sailor Moon, and towards the end of a season, all the Sailor Scouts, one by one, get fucked up. Like one of the very first seasons of Sailor Moon. Each Sailor Scout had their own private, like, fight, and then they looked like they totally died. And I think they actually maybe did technically die, but then they were reborn at the end and everything was fine. But this feels very familiar to that, like very similar to that. And I'm not liking that. It's making me stressed. No, we mustn't. Primitive as they are, it would be unspeakably cruel to deprive them of their ignorance. They are possessed of corporeal forms, their lives readily ended. And those who have gone before, is it not our duty to warn them? What thinkest thou? We have deliberated and come to a consensus. If you are resolved to know it, we will disclose to you the truth we have discovered, the truth of the universe. Seek us at the stone pillars just outside the bounds of the abode, a place called Elegia. Y'shtola. Like her master, Y'shtola seeketh the truth of creation. Yep, this is exactly what the fuck I was afraid of. How will the truth of the Ea, who uncovered all only to desire the end, fall upon her ears? The fundamental truth. She can't help it. It's like Darkseid and the what's that fucking equation? Non-life equation or whatever the fuck he's always trying to find. Like, he can't help it. He needs it. We will hear it, of course. Let us learn what has led to such an enlightened people on this indolent end. Where knowledge leads. Ere we join the Ea, there is one trifling matter I would fain investigate. Gaddis, Grahatia, might I trouble you for your assistance? Sure, but of course. My thanks. We shall head outside the abode if you would kindly follow me. I know not what mischief you are plotting, Urianger, but I trust you have our best interests at heart. The rest of us shall go on ahead to Elegia. Lest you worry, we won't start without you. Aye, this place shall serve. Is it the spring that you wish to investigate? Pray forgive me, my friends, but there is naught to investigate. What? 'Twas but a pretense to speak in private. Okay. You have our undivided attention. As we have established, here in Ultima Thule, those denizens of ruined stars are recreated in their twilight days. Yet one question doth arise in my mind. So faithfully formed are the simulacra, they believe themselves yet amongst the living. How dost thou suppose this is possible? Meteion has taken their hearts unto herself. Meteion has made contact with them while they still lived. Could be begin to guess. I don't think he took the hearts into herself. Maybe she bumped into them while they were still around. Of course, she must have visited the stars of the dragons and the EA before either race perished in their entirety. Thus she could make their emotions her own, and with them create more faithful simulacra than she had relied on in any historical account. So too did I theorize, and upon that assumption, consider how those two races may have met their demise. According to thine own tale, Meteion perceiveth the emotions of those nearby as her own, a heightened sense of empathy intrinsic to her nature as an entelechy. In the course of her starfaring journey, if she encountered beings who strongly desired a cessation of their existence, she would be powerless before that desire. Even as she possesseth the power to grant it, the power of Dynamis. 'Tis my supposition that, overwhelmed by their longing for death, Meteion did unleash Dynamis and ushered the dragons and the EA unto their doom. Of course, such was not always the outcome. Full many stars did she find already lost to ruin. In order to create a terminus, however, the fervent desire for the end is essential. Therefore, should you struggle to find the way forward, pray ask yourselves this. In the place where you stand, whose is the soul that yearneth most desperately for oblivion? Why do you tell us this now? Ne'er again would I betray your trust. This pledge I did make to my comrades. In bringing thee into my confidence, I would remain true to my word. Oh no, oh, he trusts us. As for thee, let us consider it my fitting reward for the secrets I harbored for the Crystal Exarch. Yep, you put him through a lot. I once placed my faith in the chosen path, walking at thy side full knowing that we were bound for thy demise. I ask now that thou returnest the favor and abide in faith as I fulfill my own destiny. No, come on. Why? If you say my debt has come due, how am I to refuse? 'Tis indelicate of me, I know full well, and I can but beg thy forgiveness. Yet even if I must needs go to such lengths, I cannot well feign ignorance of the answer I have found within. The answer to the question, in what moment might I stand strongest? Don't you fucking do it. Please. After all we've been through, I will only say this. Do what you must. Do what you must, and see your conviction through. I shall, my friend. I shall. Without further ado, then, let us go join our comrades. trαnge, please. And he said it with a fucking smile on his face. Let us be off to Dalagia. It seems everyone is accounted for, shall we then?
Please continue. Tell us about this truth you discovered.
Very well. Bear in mind, however, that the purpose of this conversation is not to impart scholarly knowledge, for such requires that you comprehend the subject matter, which you will not. We will forego the intricacies of our scientific methodology and deal only with the conclusion, the end of our society and our world.
We acknowledge, with regret, that your star is in the midst of the same panic-induced cataclysm that befell Burdëned III. As such, in order to avoid causing undue distress, we will refrain from explicitly stating how much time you have remaining.
You are entirely too kind. I pray you recount your tale as you see fit.
In the beginning, the universe was but a tiny particle. Then suddenly, this particle began to expand.
Oh god, this is a long story. Just fast forward this part a little bit.
Having remained entirely in the bounds of your star, the phenomenon may be difficult for your kind to grasp. But this expansion has since continued unabated.
Speculating that the universe could not grow indefinitely, we sought to learn what might occur, and made a worrying discovery. The stars will continue to spread apart, as will their finite thermal energies. Eventually, all heavenly bodies will grow cold and freeze. No new stars will be born, and the universe will enter into an eternal ice age.
hopes of proving that this determination was erroneous. We scrutinized our research from all angles, even as we sought to avert the everlasting winter. The endeavor proved fruitless. So infamously so, in fact, that it became synonymous with vain effort. The universe as we know it would end, and there is no way to prevent it.
Oh, when you hear the voice, when you listen very carefully, I think they used Urianger's voice actor, because like one of the voices sounds a lot like him.
Beneath the weight of this knowledge, our society stagnated. Though we had time still, it was a cold comfort. Why strive for anything when desolation is assured? When our wealth of wisdom, accumulated since the dawning of our kind, would be forever lost.
So they all have the same nihilistic kind of approach at the end, like, if everything's gonna go to shit, why even bother when that's just the outcome?
No civilization would rise from our ashes. No scholar recover our knowledge. In silence unbroken, naught would stir.
Intellect was once our pride. Overnight, it became our shame. Our works, monuments to futility. Immortality, our greatest invention, became a source of suffering. Rather than suffer on, many chose to unmake themselves by means of etheric exsanguinators.
Jesus.
Etched upon these stones are the testaments of such souls. Though many left no words at all, thinking it a pointless gesture.
Yeah, if you thought nobody was going to come after you or pick up where you left off, what would be the point of leaving your mark there at all, right?
Once we have obtained vessels of flesh, we likewise intend to vanish.
If you understand this, understand aught of our tale, you will abandon your quest for knowledge. Ignorance truly is bliss. If you would cling to your illusory happiness, remain primitive and pure. It is the only way.
She's not going to say yes to that.
So that's your story. While I appreciate your advice, I will not heed it. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine. Indeed, truth, I have ever believed, is in the eye of the beholder.
Are you suggesting that we have reached a faulty conclusion? That our science failed us?
Hardly. As you yourself said, the subject matter is beyond my comprehension. And that, I accept, is true. I do not possess the knowledge to prove or disprove your conclusion. In my mortal years, I doubt I could even approach the wisdom of the air. But of one thing am I absolutely certain. I would not be happier in ignorance.
Y'shtola, no! You mustn't!
The most important lesson I've learned is that learning isn't simply passing one's eyes over words. Nay, 'tis when understood for oneself that knowledge attains its true value. This is what has sustained me, driven me onward in joy and wonder, in anger and sorrow. The universe may end, and all may be for naught, but I will live as I always have. I will always seek out new knowledge. And no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire.
I suppose it is only to be expected.
Uh-oh.
Their feeble minds cannot fathom the terrifying gravity of it all. But worry not. We consider it our duty to enlighten you.
Oh,
And
God.
we will not stop until you grasp the full extent of our despair.
Is this, Y'shtola death number 4?
Keep calm and listen well. Though my body will soon dissipate, there may be a way to restore it. Asm's magic. So
That's
long as our
right.
souls remain, you can use it to summon us back.
The fucking crystal, remember?
But you mustn't, for it would mean losing our way forward. This I only reveal so that you can promise not to invoke the magic.
But why?
We came here knowing what victory may cost, so press on. Press on, and do not look back.
Wait. Trănge?
I shall join you.
What?
As subterfuge is not required, thou shalt not suffer for mine absence.
What are you doing?
Trănge.
Why?
My resolve hath never been as strong as thine. Full oft have I wavered in my decisions, and afterwards been stricken with regret. In spite of this, I may still stand with my comrades, supporting them as they attempt the greatest of feats. This truth I have learned in the course of our journey. And many though my shortcomings may be, I may also claim to excel in prophecies. My studies, into which have granted me the flexibility of mind needed to bend this malleable reality.
Dude.
Thus shall I hope that thou mayest have the strength to resist, and our comrades the strength to continue.
With you to urge us on, how could we possibly fail?
Don't go. God damn it. The fuck?
What's this? An extinguished civilization. Rekindled?
This bitch.
That's right. Our quest doesn't end here. We'll press on, and we will find you.
There. That's where you'll find me.
What?
Is that another star?
Of the stars we visited, most were already devoid of life. And where there was life still, the inhabitants wished for death. But even death, we learned, isn't truly the end. It is but a part of the cycle of rebirth. Souls return to the star, or in its absence, a larger flow. And eventually they are reborn.
Oh, does she do some bullshit to stifle that?
Alive again, to know suffering anew. True salvation lies not in dying. It lies in not being born.
Oh
This is the gift I would give to you. To all life on beautiful Aetheris. To that end, we created an egg wherein life cannot quicken. That dead sun. Attain it if you can, before your friends' emotions fade away, along with their protection.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you. Did she realize something? I'm getting, my character's getting fucking mad. Like me.